What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and AOC seems pretty nervous. She's acting tough out in front of the public, but she's nervous because it looks like the Attorney General may be looking at charges potentially for her helping illegals evade ICE. This has been an issue that has been bubbling up, and both sides of the aisle are pretending like it's a massive victory. Pam Bondi, I will tell you this much. She alleged this morning that she had received the motherload of files, so to speak. If that's true, I would be extremely happy. Prosecuting AOC for this would also make me extremely happy. It would go a long way to her, for her to kind of redeem her reputation if she were to prosecute AOC over this. She did a nervous interview with NPR over the weekend, and now Pam Bondi is apparently considering federal charges against AOC for helping migrants evade ICE. Absolute bombshell. Perhaps she should have considered using some protection like private internet access. Quick, check out this word from our sponsor. Shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, if you aren't using a VPN yet, you're completely missing out, and Private Internet Access is the one I use on all of my devices. If you've been following the news, you see that censorship, websites, apps are getting shut down in certain countries, all sorts of craziness. Well, a VPN helps you never have to worry about that. Private Internet Access also protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, internet service providers, and others that can view your personal data. Perhaps also just as importantly, Private Internet Access allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and more have different library options based on where you're located, and some shows simply cannot be accessed if you're not in the target location. Happens to me all the time. Many sports events also have regional blackouts. Well, VPNs can be a convenient way to make sure you're getting the content that you're paying for. Private Internet Access also allows you to protect an unlimited amount of devices all at the same time, so your entire household with a single subscription. And I've been working with Private Internet Access so long that I have an absolutely massive discount available to my viewers. Link in the description below. Get Private Internet Access today using my link. Save huge, protect your computers, access all the content that you've been paying for, and ensure that your internet is never censored. Pam Bondi escalates with AOC as she is filing federal charges against her for helping immigrants evade ICE. Now, she went on some NPR show this morning, claiming that the American people vehemently opposed Elon cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from federal government. Poll shows Doge is extremely popular by huge margins. She also went on to talk about illegals, which is bonkers. AOC blames Republicans, for the open border and the flood of illegals in our country over the past 4 years, and slams the Laken-Riley Act. Border crossings are down over 90% under Trump. Biden purposely kept our borders open. She's starting to make Jasmine Crockett look smart. I would agree with that.
Part of your problem with working class voters?
I mean, I guess my question would be, what does the word problem mean?
People voting.
Did she just literally do, well, I guess it depends what your definition of is.
For the other side and not for you.
Yeah.
Feeling that Democrats are not serious about the issue in ways that concern them.
I think that we have a problem on immigration because of the lack of progress that we've had on this issue. And as we know, Republicans weaponized that lack of progress. Of course, there was famously a bipartisan bill last year that the Republican majority in the Senate and also in the House were willing to pass. President Biden was willing to work with them on it. And Donald Trump said, do not solve this problem. As long as it is broken, then it will be politically beneficial for us. And so it is a problem not just for Democrats. It's a problem for the entire country that Republicans do not want to solve any sort of issue with immigration. They are completely uninterested.
What? Again, she is just a complete liar. AOC admits she was openly advising illegals on how to avoid law enforcement. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said during a recent interview that illegal aliens were among her constituents. The socialist lawmaker then went on to make remarks in an interview late last week in NPR's Morning Edition. When asked about Border Czar Tom Homan's recent remarks about advising illegals and how to avoid federal immigration authorities, quote, I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States. NPR noted that Homan was upset over AOC's remarks because she was giving advice to illegal aliens on how to continue to violate America's laws. When asked point blank if that's what she was doing, AOC responded, I was giving advice to all my constituents. Yeah. Homan reached out to the Department of Justice to seek guidance on whether AOC was what she was doing constituted a crime. She said that she has not heard from the DOJ, but she plans on reaching out to inquire about the matter. When asked what she would ask the DOJ, she said, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry. Are you going to do it? Now, I can't imagine that she would have the access or rights to demand knowing whether or not they're investigating her. She claimed that the Trump administration was bluffing and that it was important to call out. I think that's what authoritarians do. I think this is what kleptocracies do. She claimed they rely on the illusion of power. Well, I mean, the popular vote kind of was something. On top of that, if you're so worried about it, why are you writing him a letter?
Dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents.
Oh, is it?
And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Homan was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Mm-hmm. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
I don't think she actually has that right. Pam Bondi escalates war with AOC as she eyes filing federal charges against her for helping migrants evade ICE. Attorney General Pam Bondi is apparently moving to take action against Representative Ocasio-Cortez for informing illegal immigrants on how they can further skirt U.S. law. Bondi is reportedly preparing to file federal charges against Ocasio-Cortez, according to a few assertions made by conservative social media accounts on Monday. One such account wrote, I'm hearing Pam Bondi is reportedly going to charge Congresswoman AOC for instructing illegal aliens on how to avoid ICE. This is the only way elected officials stop breaking federal immigration law. They added with the advice of lawyering up. The Justice Department did not respond to DailyMail.com to confirm if the claims are true or whether the agency is actually investigating the Congresswoman. President Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, had said he asked Pam Bondi over the past several weeks to open an investigation into a New York lawmaker over impeding federal law enforcement officers. It came after Ocasio-Cortez, a progressive member of a so-called squad, held webinars and published videos and social media posts with advice for illegal immigrants on how to evade immigration and customs enforcement amid nationwide crackdown on illegal immigration. Homan said he wanted Bondi to issue formal guidance on whether Ocasio-Cortez's action equated to obstruction in the eyes of Trump's DOJ. I actually think that's a fine thing to do. Homan's just saying, hey, I need to know, is this happening? Is this, did she break a law? I think that's a perfectly fine, question to ask. AOC insists she was only distributing the content and providing resources to her constituents. Well, technically, illegal aliens would not be your constituent.
We're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder.
Now, the left-wing media is pretending this is some massive win. And to be honest with you, if it isn't like a clear, legal dunk, if this isn't like, yes, she broke a law, and this is XYZ, the law that she broke, and here are the, appropriate charges for said law. If she did that, if that's how they treat it, I would say, I'm good with that. That's how this is supposed to work. That's how, the law is supposed to work. That's how, you're not supposed to have, these are the charges. Yes. Otherwise don't make this a thing, because that's what AOC wants. Hello, Pam Bondi, is your agency being weaponized? Oh, now they have a problem with it. Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now. Ocasio-Cortez rejected the idea that informing people on the rights of impending law enforcement. She wrote, maybe he can learn to read. The Constitution would be a good place to start. AOC's full-throated. She's used to that. Response to the Trump administration is a stark contrast to how our party has now been handling Trump 2.0. Democrats have consistently been losing public confidence. Even before Trump took office, a CNN poll in early January found that Democrats had a 33% approval rating. By February, that number had sunk to 21% in a separate Quinnipiac poll. The party has widely been criticized for sitting quietly on the sidelines while Trump has signed a flurry of executive orders. Well, they voted against keeping men out of women's sports. Okay. AOC is getting a lot more followers on TikTok. Well, it sounds like federal charges. We'll see. She's talking a lot of bluster right now, but we'll see how confident she is if and when charges are filed. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out private internet access, and we'll talk to you again real soon.